Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricketomania, the show that tells you everything about cricket and we dissect everything that happens in the game. Joining me is Ayaz Memon, premier commentator of the game, and I'm Shilpa R. Well, the question of the day is Kumar Sangakkara the best batsman of his generation? Well, I know Ayaz certainly feels so.
Well, I think he's made a very strong claim to being recognized as such because he's made 100 lords in the last test match that Sri Lanka played. And if you look at his career graph, especially over the last 3 or 4 years, he's just taken such giant strides to becoming, I think, being a serious kind of a contender to people like Sachin Tendulkar, Brian Lara, Ricky Ponting, Rahul Dravid. It was not till in the last maybe year and a half that these guys have been taken, or Sangakkara has been taken as seriously, because everybody thought the best batsman in the world is either Tendulkar or Lara or perhaps Ponting, maybe Dravid, Jack Kallis. But Sri Lankans, especially Jayawardene and Sangakkara, were not considered as strongly.
Even in the running, and especially this personal milestone of his at Lords this century puts things, does it actually elevate him in the table right now?
Well, not because he's made 100 Lords. That's got a different dimension to it.
Right.
Because Lords is considered the mecca of cricket. Okay. And it's an anomaly that some of the greatest players have not made 100
And this
Lords.
might be his last because he's 36
years old.
Yeah, he's
36 years old, so he's unlikely to play another test match there again. But guys who have not made 100 Lords, Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar, Brian Lara.
All the greats.
These great batsmen have not made 100 Lords. Sangakkara has made 100 Lords. So he's got something which others haven't. But more than that, I think if you look at the number of runs he's scored, and his average is magnificent, 58 plus, which is over a 15-year career, it's phenomenal.
Right. Can we just get the first table up, please?
Okay, so here you are. Yeah. These are the guys. This is by batting statistics.
Right.
So you got Don Bradman, who's
on top, because with an like 99.94,
he's the ZS. He's ZS of batsmanship.
Yeah.
99.94.
And it's distant second at 60.
And then the mortals come in.
Right.
That guy was Superman. Then you've got Sutcliffe, Barrington, Weeks, and Sangakkara. And these are all people who played enough number of tests. But look at Kumar Sangakkara, 123 test matches, 11,200.
Most number of test matches played.
Yeah. So normally, when you play so many matches, you would obviously
difficult to
have that kind of consistency and this kind of an average. And what I also consider very important is that number of not outs boosts your average.
Okay.
He's got 210 innings, 17 not outs, which is not too many. Like Everton Weeks, not too many, 81, 5 not outs.
Because he has like
but if he had
twice the matches.
If he had 30 not outs, his average would be 60 plus.
Okay.
That's how averages are computed.
It really pushes it over the edge. And also the fact that he's also wicket-keeper and specialist batsman.
So therefore he's an all-rounder, He's a wicket-keeper batsman who started off essentially as a wicket-keeper, could bat. Now he's no longer keeping wickets except in limited overs cricket. But he's become a phenomenal batsman. In fact, somewhere we'll get the statistics where, how different he has become.
We have the table. As wicketkeeper.
As a wicketkeeper, this is really interesting. It's it tells you a story. In 48 matches, Kumar Sangakkara kept wickets, and his batting average was 40.48.
Right.
And subsequently,
can we see him as a specialist batsman?
As purely as a specialist batsman? No, these are home and away.
That's home and away. That's wicket.
Now this is amazing. Look at it. When he has given up wicket keeping, 75 matches, his batting average is 70.52, which is higher than any other batsman in the history of the game except Bradman.
Almost half, almost double of that.
He's almost doubled it. So without having the burden and the responsibility of being a wicketkeeper, which can be very demanding, very taxing physically.
Right, because you're there for the entire length of the game, and then for your.
And therefore, look at the number of hundreds he scored in 75 matches, 29 hundreds.
Right.
So which is a very strong strike rate of making centuries. The number of runs he's made and the average is absolutely fantastic.
Right, and a little about his playing style. He's not known for exactly whacking the ball. His shots go smooth. Very prudent batsman, isn't he?
He's a master.
Right.
So masters are usually prudent.
Okay.
They're not necessarily extravagant. I think it's the control that he exercises as a batsman. And the adversity or adverse conditions the biggest challenges seem to bring out the best in him.
Right, so almost like Rahul Dravid. You might is there a fair comparison? Are they similar?
Yeah, apart from the fact that one is right-handed, the other is
They're
left-handed.
left-handed, of course.
But you could say Rahul Dravid in terms of a very competitive, combative player, and has risen from limitations into complete comprehensive
Right.
fulfillment.
Right.
He's kind of filled up his career graph with all kinds of achievements everywhere. The best opponents, he's done extremely well, and therefore you can say that look, somebody like Tendulkar comes in, he's a genius. So is Lara. They start playing the way they do, and they play like that till the rest of their till they finish their career. Guys like Dravid and Sangakkara have grown in stature. The longer that they played, they become better and better and better.
Right, and you just mentioned him being a left-handed batsman. Can you also shed some light? Is he one of the best left-handed batsmen that we've had?
Certainly, because there have been some great left-handed batsmen. My favorite all-time cricketer, the greatest I feel, is actually a left-hand batsman, Garfield Sobers.
Okay.
And a left-arm bowler. He was, to my money, for me, he was the greatest cricketer who ever played. But there have been several left-hand players. There's nothing to choose between a right-hander and a left-hander in terms of skill or consistency. Brian Lara was a left-hander. Viv Richards was a right-hander. So these, but there's a natural grace that left-handers seem to have. Saurav Ganguly, David Gower, Kumar Sangakkara has got that grace in him. He's a pretty batsman to watch.
Okay.
Maybe not as stylish as his comrade in arms, Mahela Jayawardene, who's been absolutely fantastic also. But I think
he's also been a great batsman who hasn't got his due
between the two of them, they've held up Sri Lankan cricket, high as batsmen. And then of course they've had bowlers like Murli Tharan and some of the others who.
The Dusra.
Actually, Sri Lanka, because it's a tiny country and doesn't have very high decibel value in terms of media, it's not being propagated enough. But their cricketing achievements over the last, I think, 10, 12, 15 years have been really very good.
Right, and you were also telling me about his home and away statistics, right? Can we pull that up?
So these are his stats, home and away. Now you will see that he's done extremely well at home. He's averaging 77.87. And these are matches that he's played as a batsman, not as a wicket keeper. And he averages away from home 64.32. Now this might look like it's 13 points below his, but 64 average is absolutely fantastic.
Wow, okay.
So obviously he does better at home. Most batsmen you'll find they do better at home.
Why is that?
Because you know the conditions.
Is it also because of support? Do you think that really
counts
as well?
But usually
you're familiar with the surroundings.
If you look at Tendulkar or Dravid or Ganguly, almost every major ground in India they played several times over in domestic cricket and international cricket. So if Tendulkar walks out to bat at the Wankhede Stadium, he knows every blade of grass that there is because he's almost lived there. That's the advantage you get. So when you go overseas, you don't know the conditions and there's a hardship imposed by those conditions. If you do well overseas, then you are recognized, your greatness is recognized even further. So Kumar Sangakkara, 64.32 is a phenomenal batting average overseas.
Right, fantastic. And also, can we get a table according to the opposition, please?
So now he's
got.
And see, look at the record. This is very interesting also. So he's made a lot of runs. I think Bangladesh, one can actually discount because Bangladesh have not been strong opponents. So he's got a terrific record. 1600 runs in 10 test matches, an average of 124. Even if you remove that
Zimbabwe
and rationalize it, even Zimbabwe, I mean, he's got 281 runs again in 2 test matches. But even if you rationalize it by removing runs scored against Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, Sangakkara has been absolutely outstanding. Look at his record against Pakistan. Very strong bowling attack, 15 matches, 1800 runs.
From there
75 is the average. Against South Africa, again a very strong bowling attack, 63.47. And against Australia, 63.66. He's obviously also enjoyed himself at India's expense, 66.92. The only country he doesn't seem to have done well against is England, neither at home nor away from home.
But his century at Lord's changed all of that.
He seems to be correcting that. So we'll have to wait and see. He might have a terrific series here and average goes up to around 50 even there. I mean, these are staggering statistics. Anybody who's followed cricket will know these are staggering statistics.
Wow, so definitely one of the best batsmen of his generation, or maybe even the best.
Well, statistically, it's showing him, in very good light. But, you know, defining greatness of a cricketer or a sports person is not necessarily based only on statistics. It's also on circumstances. It's also on style. It's
It's
on
also
adaptability.
on popularity.
That
And
might
speaking,
not that might not define greatness,
Right.
but greatness. I mean,
Is
popularity will be a
acknowledged.
function.
Right.
It'll
True.
be
Fair enough.
a obvious fallout of if you're a great player, then you'll be very popular.
Okay, so now we have to put that to the test and see what the people feel about him.
Lovely. Let's hear.
Right? Let's see how popular he is.
Kumar Sangakkara should get that title, but if I was a Sri Lankan, then obviously he would be a god for me because he has done a lot for the Sri Lankan team.
Well, yes, he plays really good. So yeah, I think. And I watched him in IPL and also.
He adapts the situation very well. He can play in a tough situation. He plays well under pressure, and he has shown many times, and he has won Sri Lanka many matches.
Not exactly best. Nobody can beat Sachin Tendulkar. So he is a very good player, but I don't think he's the best batsman.
Yes, he is a superb player. Sauce selection is superb.
Not the best, but yeah, one of the best maybe. Because like other players like Virat Kohli and all, you just get some scandalous news. Even if they play well, they're into a lot of media. But I know like for a fact Sachin Tendulkar and this Sangakkara guy is very down to earth. Like you don't get any news about them. They just play, and that's what cricketers are supposed to do.
He's good in playing cricket. He's a good batsman. He hits great shots, in great variety of shots. He's a good batsman, but not as good as Sachin Tendulkar.
He is best, but then you cannot just compare it to someone else. Like Sachin, no, you can't. So he is best for our generation, I think.
Well, he does seem to have quite a number of admirers there in India.
Yes, as he should. He's done extremely well against
Right.
India. And look, Indians are cricket crazy. They follow their, players, not necessarily only Indian players.
And they're quite knowledgeable as well.
They're knowledgeable,
Yeah.
and you can't ignore. I mean, this year Kumar Sangakkara has been in extraordinary form. He's got a triple hundred, even if it's against Bangladesh. A triple hundred is a triple hundred is a triple hundred.
Right.
Not easy to score. So I think beyond all that, and which is where I feel perhaps he's ahead of his contemporaries, the modern greats, which is beyond just what he does on the field.
Right.
In the definition of his entire cricketing personality, he's been very statesman-like.
Okay.
The spirit of cricket lecture that he gave at the MCC a couple of years ago was absolutely brilliant. He's an educated young man. He was studying law when he made his career. He's not a guy who broke into cricket as a teenager, 16, 17. He was 22, 23.
22,
Yeah, so he was finishing his law, was just studying law. He thinks about the game. His lecture, as I mentioned, was very illuminating because it put Sri Lanka's position not only as a cricketing entity but as a political and as his national identity in the context of cricket, which was extremely well thought out and articulated.
And evoked a lot of empathy.
It evoked a lot of not just empathy. I think it evoked a lot of thought amongst people who listened to it.
Right.
It's not a big country.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a powerful voice even in the cricket world, but Kumar Sangakkara and some of the others have actually taken the country and put it out in front of the world. So I think Sangakkara, I've met him a couple of times.
Right.
In Sri Lanka, in India. He's very well spoken, well behaved, obviously well behaved, though on the field he can be a bit of a jabberer.
Yeah, he's quite known for his sledging, isn't he? And he's defensive. He talks about it. He says sledging is not just abusive.
He's not abusive.
Yeah, but he's quite a mind game player.
What they call causing mental disintegration of the opponent. So he's not averse. He's a very competitive, very fiercely competitive cricketer. So he takes sledging from the others and he gives it back. So in that sense, he's more modern than classically the gentleman cricketer you might imagine. But it's not beyond. He doesn't take it beyond. He doesn't push the envelope where it becomes abrasive. So I think that's fair. According to me, I think that makes for a great battle.
All fair in cricket, is it?
Not all fair in cricket, but you can't have pele up attitude in cricket. This is sport. It's competitive. But I think what Kumar Sangakkara has brought to the game is richness, not just of his cricketing talent, but richness of his intellectual abilities also. He's a thinker about the game. I think going ahead, he can and he must play a larger role in how this sport evolves.
Definitely, and you shed some very interesting light on him there. I didn't know many of those things. I had no idea that he was such a great orator, or the fact that he'd studied law. But I do have, I did know a little bit about Sangakkara before this. But let's see how much the people knew about him. We went out on the streets and tested their Sangakkara knowledge.
No, I don't have any idea.
I don't know.
I don't know. Chok Shanada.
I have no idea. Kumar.
Maybe 3-4 years back or something like that.
From 2009.
I think so from 2007, 2008.
Yeah. 9-10. Even 9-10.
2007 to 11.
21st century. 2000 to something. 2000 to something. I don't really know.
2001 to 2012. 2005 till the present. I don't know.
Could be 5 or 6.
4th or 5th maybe.
Second or third.
I think 5th or 6th.
Current.
The second? Okay, second.
No clue. 6 point something, I don't know. No clue.
I have no idea. Listen, I don't know anything.
Must be 18, 19.
Age 21, 22.
From 25, 26.
20, 21.
21, 23.
17? Around 17 to 18.
22, 22. 21. 22.
Now, if you're watching that quiz and you're upset that you didn't know most of those answers, don't despair. The only answer you need to know is the one to the question that's going to be asked by Ayaz right now. And if you do know the answer, you could stand a chance to win a Flipkart voucher. Well, Ayaz, you asked me this question before and I had no idea. Why don't you throw this googly at the viewers as well?
Okay, so Kumar Sangakkara earlier this year made a 100 in a test match.
Right.
Not at Lords, that was 100, but a 100 against Bangladesh.
Right.
So he is the latest in the 100 club.
Right.
But I don't my question is, who was the first, and incidentally, the player who made a 100 in a test match and never played another match again?
Right. So
Which
he
is
made a triple century and then he never played again.
He never played again, which is an anomaly you would imagine, because if somebody
complete
who makes a
oddity.
100
How
would
could
be
that happen?
an automatic selection for the next match.
Yeah.
But here's this guy, he made a 100
Right.
and never played another match again.
Was it Don Bradman?
Well, I'm not letting you know now. You'll have to send me the answer. If you win it, you'll get a Flipkart voucher.
Right. So what you have to do is you have to tweet at Boom News TV at the Cricketwala, and you could stand to win that Flipkart voucher that you have, unless I steal it from Ayaz before that. But thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Cricketmania. Until next time, thank you.